Hello. Well, I'm sorry it's been such a long time since I posted a video. Dick has been on holiday and I have been very tied up with other things in my life for the last month. So couldn't get anything done. But we should be getting back to testing the boat in a week or so's time if we can get some decent bad weather. We've just missed the bad weather that has just occurred. But it did have one effect insofar as day before yesterday we had a gale and I found I couldn't get out of my drive. A big branch had broken off this old chestnut tree of mine. It took us 50 minutes with a chainsaw to cut enough of it off so that I could drive out on my drive. Got a pile of garbage there waiting to be burnt, and this is the bit of the branch that was too big to be cut with our rather small chainsaw, so we'll have to get another bigger chainsaw in before we can sort that. I think it's slightly bigger than my waist. Back in my garage, that long-term test of the stepper motor is still running. It's been running for about 6 months now. When I first started it, I didn't have the cling film on top of this bucket, and I discovered that within 24 hours half the oil had evaporated. But since I put that cling film on, although it's clearly not airtight because it's got holes in it, there's been no further evaporation and I haven't had to top up the oil any further. So this little stepper motor has been driving valiantly and the Arduino has been working perfectly, powered from a standard 5-volt adapter, and I think in that 6 months it's only stopped or restarted itself once because of a power outage. During the same time, the PC in my study that's monitoring this test has restarted itself about 15 times. God knows why. And can analyse it later. And I started this afternoon, which is Wednesday the 24th of January 2018. So we'll see how long it lasts before something goes wrong. Anyway, I want to change the electrics in this garage because I bought a bandsaw and I want to put it over here. So, and I think it's about time we stop this test. So I shall turn this off for the first time in 6 months. Well, quite a fat capacitor in that power supply, I guess. It continued some time after I turned it off, didn't it? Perhaps I'd better undo that first. The temperature monitor, which served no useful purpose because of course the motor never overheated and ambient temperature fluctuations are much bigger than anything I've recorded. Right, so here's our valiant little stepper motor with 40-to-1 reduction. Well, I suppose we want to take this motor apart now and see if there's any damage. We were measuring on the computer the average time it took to move through a given angle, and of course that remained exactly the same throughout this test for the quite obvious reason that this is a stepper motor, so it either steps or it doesn't step, and if it does step, it steps at the speed that it's being driven at. I'm not going to take the motor spindle here looks perfectly okay. There's no wear in that bearing. I'm going to undo these 4 screws and take the gearbox off. Right. Those gears look as good as new, no observable wear at all. Right, well you can see the gears there, or at least the top layer of the epicyclic gearbox, with a metal gear on the outside and plastic ones inside. I don't know what this one is. I think that one is metal as well, and the white ones are plastic. But there's no noticeable wear on there. So I could take the rest of this apart, but it's hardly worth it, is it? The thing seems to be well able to do the task that we might ask it to do if it were controlling the rudder. Well, of course, since I started this long-term test of the stepper motor, things have progressed and we've switched to using a linear actuator to control the rudder. But that linear actuator has a brushed DC motor and therefore will not be reliable in the long term. So we may well engineer our own linear actuator using the stepper motor as the drive element. So the test is not entirely irrelevant. Thanks for watching.